Hello and welcome! Today we are in the Tier 9 German battleship, the Pommern. We're playing a match on the map Haven, and it is a match with aircraft carriers. There are even destroyers on both sides. But it is a Tier 7 to 9 match. Our aircraft carrier is an August von Parseval, while theirs is a Shokaku. And because I'm in a battleship that is very good at pushing due to my secondary build, I start immediately heading towards the enemy. And what is that? I spy with my little eye. A Shokaku! I have half a mind to just try to YOLO rush her. Regardless what else happens, if we can take out the CV for a battleship, that would already be a great trade, I think. But at first, I'm gonna be apprehensive, I'm gonna take a conservative shot. Unfortunately, my dispersion only landed me one shell. However, because the Shokaku is so far forward, it does mean that if the CV goes again and spots her, or maybe a destroyer spots her, we might still be able to take her out quite quickly, which should give us a massive advantage in this battle. Ooh, somebody already took out most of her HP, so all we need to do is just finish her off. We have her side, so come on, RNGesus. Shells, please, fly in a straight line. We did it! We did it! Less than 3 minutes into the game, and we have knocked out the enemy aircraft carrier for the first blood. GG! Game's over! We won, right? Like, the most important ship in the team, just gone. This means this should be an easy game. So all we need to do is just wrap it up now. Just push as much as you want. Basically, do whatever you wish. Also, there's a Russia with her broadside on towards me. Sadly, only 2 over-penetrations. 1 non-penetration, actually. Because remember, these are Turpets guns still, so they aren't the greatest. Ooh, a Seattle in my secondary range. Come on, little Seattle, come on, come on. You know you want to have some 380mm AP shells, or perhaps a whole load of HE shells. For my secondary. Oh, and she fired her guns. What? That Seashore Devil guy in the Seattle is insane, but I'm just gonna ignore him for now. I mean, there's an Aegir over there that's actually showing me broadside. This is a much better target. Come on, little cruiser. 11k. Well, sadly the rear turrets weren't quite as effective, but hey, our secondaries are going off on that Seattle, so great. This match has started amazing. We've taken out the CV. We are within the secondary range of a Seattle in our Pommern. We have an Aegir that's pushing in towards us. This is perfect. Although I do need to watch out. I'm pretty sure Aegir has torpedoes, so I do have to run my Hydra and be conservative with how I sail. I shouldn't try to show too much broadside to her. I do need to be careful there, but I think Aegir should be a fairly easy kill. Oh, and there's a Jambard that's gonna be in secondary range too, a ship that's basically 32mm all over, which means that our secondary should deal a huge amount of damage to her once we deal with the Seattle. And the Aegir ran aground, broadside on, and she missed all of her torpedoes. Can this game get any better? That's amazing! Wow! Okay, we didn't get the Citadel, but it's fine. She only has 14k HP. Okay, she's gonna hurt with her guns in return, right? Because it's still a fairly powerful cruiser. I mean, she has 63k HP. But the torpedoes will definitely finish her off, and if not the secondaries even. And we're gonna continue pushing now, because why not? Goodbye, Aegir. Next up. I guess we should secondary the JB since the Seattle is out of range and simply shoot the Seattle with our main batteries. And what is a little light cruiser gonna do? Turn away? Pfft, that doesn't help. I mean, look at this. I have a Pommern behind me, I have a New Orleans behind me, I have York behind me, I have Nagato behind me. And for some reason, I have a destroyer behind me too. I don't know what that guy's doing. He's definitely not, you know... He doesn't have the spirit that the rest of our team has in pushing. He needs to get his thinking checked. Anyway, I'm just gonna continue. I mean, we haven't had much success dealing damage to the Seattle, but hey, any time now we're gonna just dev strike her. Okay, 2 over penetrations, that's fine. But we're gonna get closer to this JB, so I think I might want to focus on this guy. Our torpedoes will be reloaded in about 10 seconds-ish. And then we can take out the JB and go on our merry way to victory. I mean, we've taken out 2 of their ships for nothing in return. Okay, technically I've taken a lot of damage in return. I think I might have shown a bit too much side to this JB. That actually hurt. But I hurt more. I'm gonna just turn in, and after that I'm gonna kinda sail away because this is getting kinda sketchy on the HP front for me. Let the other Pommern tank for a while. In fact, it might actually be a good idea to try to just get out of concealment entirely because this is getting way too dangerous. 15k HP left. Oh, one of my torp tubes just got permanent. That's not great. But it'll be fine. Okay, there's another Pommern. Luckily, she's actually sailing away. If she were sailing closer, this would be GG. For me, that is. I only have 12k HP now, but luckily I have exited the concealment, or spotting range of the Seattle. All we need to do now is just keep going, not get set on fire, and this will be fine. I'm sure our New Orleans, York, and other Pommern will be able to finish her off, since, you know, they have HP and stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna take one salvo, probably on the broadsiding Nagato, because that could be quite effective. I'd really like to shoot the shores, but she isn't quite as broadside as this Nagato. And now we're gonna get behind the island and simply wait for our heals, because we do need HP. Ooh, a Citadel hit! 22k on that Nagato, excellent! This is looking great. I mean, it doesn't even look like it's going to be too hard of a stop. Oh god. Somebody put the giant island in front of me. Goddamn volcanism, okay? So many volcanoes in this game, I don't understand. Anyway, we're gonna simply reverse out of this. We're actually in a good spot. We shouldn't get punished for this, because, hey, the Seattle is literally in A1. So she probably doesn't have the range, and there are plenty of other targets next to me that are slightly less angled, which would make them better targets. Besides, we also have this magical thing called concealment. That seems to work quite well. Also, is that the shore's broadside? Well, it would be nice if we could see something, but that's okay. Our Z-23 has improved. She is actually capping the A-cap, which is good work. Well done. I mean, this is exactly what she was doing, should have been doing. Well, actually, I'm not really disappointed in the destroyer. I just found it weird that she was behind the whole team earlier. Anyway, that's broadsiding Russia. So why not take a gander at her with our 380mm guns? Although, slightly better aim would improve the situation. I can see how they were ricochets considering we basically hit the deck of the ship. The Seattle is coming close again with her HE shells. I really wish to sail away now. I admit defeat against the Seattle, okay? I do admit defeat against the Seattle. That guy is... I can't believe he's still alive, okay? I don't have the HP to fight her anymore. Also, both of my torp tubes are now broken due to that Seattle, I think. I really can't believe that she's still alive. I'm not gonna try shooting her anymore. It doesn't work. She just doesn't take damage for some reason. I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna leave it to the Nagato behind me. Also, I'd like to point out that the Pommern that was with us is already dead. And the New Orleans and the York have also decided to stop chasing the Seattle. And I think even our Z-23 has had enough of her. We're gonna go fight someone else. Somebody that's slightly easier to actually deal with. Okay, so they have a bunch of ships in the B cap. That's their only cap zone, so obviously we're gonna push them because that's what you do. If you're winning, you need to win harder. This means that you need to do dangerous things so that you acquire a swifter victory. You know, ignore the part where you actually end up losing half the games when you try this, even though you should have won them. This is more fun like this, okay? Just look at that Pommern. In fact, I would like to do the same thing, but because I don't actually have any torpedoes, there's no point in doing that. If I'm in secondary range, then that's already good enough. Okay, our Nagata is gonna deal with the Seattle at least. I mean, she's closing the distance, even the Seattle is sailing closer, so it'll be fine, I think. Hopefully. Somebody will be able to deal with her. I'm gonna take one shot on her though. But only one shot. Well, actually, if I deal a lot of damage, I'm gonna do a follow-up. Everybody's focused on the other Pommern, well, our other Pommern, so it'll be fine. Oh, one more over penetration. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave the Seattle to the Nagato. Also, that Seattle really seems to like me. She just keeps shooting me on and on and on and on. Okay, the Russia's gone. And now it's simply the Scharnhorst. Excellent. One main battery salvo, then secondaries, and now we simply leave. Also, I don't know why that York is pushing. That's a bad idea. Anyway, I'm gonna go south because there's a Helena that's gonna head into the B-cap, or D-cap, sorry. The Scharnhorst died to our Nagato. I thought the Nagato was fighting the Seattle. Okay, fine. But we're gonna go south to the D-cap to defend it, although it does appear that the enemy destroyer, the Benson, is over there. So I asked our CV, that I know is a decent player, to actually go and spot her. You know, she might be an August 1 Parseval and not have HE rocket planes, so she isn't very effective against the destroyer, but she can still spot her, although I suppose it's unnecessary right now because, well, the Benson got already spotted and then used the smokescreen. Planes aren't going to help her. There's the enemy pump. Wait, what? The Seattle just got the double strike? What? She just double struck the York and the Nagato in a Seattle? How? It wasn't a detonation or anything. That guy is scary. I'm gonna go in a different direction even harder now. Anyway, Helena's gone. I guess our Z-23 is gonna fight the Seattle now? I don't think that's gonna go too well because I'm pretty sure a Seattle has radar. And the Z-23 is not exactly a great matchup in this kind of a fight. Anyway, I expect Benson torpedoes to arrive at some point, although they do, you know, Benson torpedoes are fairly slow, so it should be okay, but I'm gonna Hydra's gonna be up, but I'm also gonna slightly angle towards them so that if the torpedoes do arrive, I can at least turn in easily. There's gonna be a fight with a Pommern. We have about equal HP. I do have a heal available too, but sadly, the Pommern has backup, namely the enemy Nagato. And I suspect the enemy Pommern also has working torpedoes, which means that I don't wish to get within 6 kilometers of her. So, simply, I'm going to sail away. We do hold a massive points advantage because, well, we hold most of the cap zones, and we have a working aircraft carrier that doesn't carry the planes to the depths of the sea yet, which means that time is probably going to be in our favor in the long run. Goodbye, Pommern. That's my Kraken. The Seattle is back shooting at me again. I suppose that makes sense because there aren't exactly many options at this point. It's me, the New Orleans, or the Parseval, and I am the closest one. Also the easiest one to hit because I'm the biggest one. There are the Benson torpedoes. Easy to avoid at this point. Pommern's gone, so it's only the Nagata and the Benson. Oh, there's the Benson. Parseval has spotted her. Secondary help a little bit. I'm turning my guns, but I do need to keep in mind that I probably don't want to show broadside to that Nagato. Probably should heal, actually. Yeah, heal is a good idea now. I wanted to save it because I couldn't get the full heal earlier, but now is fine, I think. Okay, Benson's coming out from behind the island. Let's line up a shot. Come on, there's 12 of them. It shouldn't be hard to hit, right? Only... Never mind. I take it back, apparently it's very difficult to hit. But the Parseval managed to finish her off with a torpedo. Well done. Anyway, now it's simply dealing with the Nagato, so it shouldn't be too difficult. That's a ship that can't avoid my shells, hopefully. Unlike the Benson and the Seattle that still is shelling me. She's been shelling me for like 15 minutes now or something. It's getting tiresome. So I asked her to stop. And I got to showing broadside, although she might simply take out the New Orleans here. It's entirely possible, but 21k damage. Hello, high caliber. And I think the Percival's gonna just finish her off, although I'm gonna take a salvo just in case. And now it's simply the Seattle. I would like to point out that the first ship the enemy team lost was the enemy aircraft carrier, 3 minutes into the match. I was basically sailing over here. And it's still this close, I cannot believe this. And we have a good CV player. Unbelievable. That Seattle is unbelievable. Look at how much HP he has. I mean, we chased him for like 5 minutes with like 5 ships. Okay, maybe it was like 4 or 3. We chased him for a long time with quite a few ships, battleships at that, and we couldn't deal damage to her. What the hell is that guy? Anyways, now her days are numbered because, well, she's showing me broadside and it's getting closer and closer range. You know, the secondaries will eventually take her out, if not the main guns. Come on! Yes! And obviously the last salvo was a citadel. Finally, we finished off that Seattle. That Seattle was my nemesis. Actually, that Seattle was our entire team's nemesis. What a game! 232k damage, 293 secondary hits. Confederate, Dreadnought, Kraken Unleashed, First Blood, High Caliber. Sank 6 ships, even got 4 citadels in a Pommern. And a massive amount of secondary hits. 2,377 base XP. I'm gonna compliment this Parseval, this New Orleans. Slightly later. First, the Seattle needs a compliment. That guy was definitely a worthy opponent. Like, that guy played incredible. I can't believe how well he played. Like, that guy was the real deal this game. Well done, Seashore Devil. Really well done. That guy deserves all the compliments in the world here. Anyway, here's the detailed report. Well, the secondary damage is kind of pitiful, isn't it? It's only 40k damage. Compared to the main battery's 188k damage. 2.5 million potential damage and 126k damage tanked. Now, I do want to point out one thing though. You might think the secondaries are useless, and that's kind of what I thought too here. But I didn't actually sync this game, which means that if I had spec'd for tankiness instead of secondaries, I probably wouldn't have done as much damage because the secondary damage simply wouldn't have been there. If I had sunk, you know, that would have prevented me from doing more damage with the main guns. However, because I didn't sync, that shouldn't matter. Look at that, 62k damage from that Seattle. Just with Alpha, 62k from one guy. And he did another 15k with the fire damage from those HE shells. From one guy. Unbelievable. Anyways, let's take a look at the commander skills and upgrades. So, as I mentioned, secondary build, priority target, adrenaline rush, superintendent, concealment expert, advanced firing training, take AFT before manual secondaries always, then manual secondaries, and then last preventative maintenance, although apparently it doesn't prevent much maintenance on the torpedo tubes. So here I swapped for the main battery reload at this point, because as you saw, the main battery simply dealt more damage. Then concealment, because we don't have basics of survivability, I go for damage control system modification 2. Then obviously secondary range. Then the Hydra upgrade, if I didn't have this one, I would go for damage control system modification 1, and then the first slot I want to protect my secondaries. I get it, if I had main arms modification 1, maybe my torpedo tubes would have survived. But on the other hand, I probably would have lost more secondary batteries. Also would have lost air, you know, anti-air. However, I guess it doesn't matter much this game. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.